What's going on, everyone? Alex De Silva, happy as Larry Group. I hope you are well, and welcome to another episode of the Feel Good Show. I'm doing this on video and I'm doing this on iTunes as well. So if you're listening, you can also now go and watch this on YouTube. It's the first time, so I have to make sure that I'm always looking at the camera because usually I'm only doing this on audio. And I want to try this out. Let's take it to the next level. And I've got to say, I'm really excited to be here. The last episode we recorded was at ICAD, and we interviewed Janice Winehouse and Richard Collins. It was a live audience. The room was packed. The atmosphere was fantastic. And we didn't do another episode because we just got really, really busy with other stuff. Lucy finishing her master's, the business, the baby, and just pushing things. We had to focus on other areas. It's no excuse. It is completely my fault and pure procrastination because I thought I need to get guests and, I was too busy doing other things, so on and so forth, and blah, 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 blah. But I am here because I realized that I just want to speak to you. And I've got so much I want to say. I do my daily videos, which again is on YouTube. We have, I post it on LinkedIn, I post it on Facebook. But I thought 5-7 minutes, it's not enough. And I've always just wanted to do a weekly episode with just me, just to share my experience, what's going on with me at the moment, what can I share with you, what little piece of wisdom, or struggle, that I can share openly, honestly, vulnerably, that may be able to help you. And that's what this show is going to be about. It's going to be just me, and I'm just going to talk to you about what's going on for me, what my experience is, whether it's something that's going to pump you or something that's going to really touch you. And there was no plan. I'm just going to go raw with this. And, it's generally what kind of comes to me. And what came to me this morning in my, as you guys know, as a business, we offer coaching, we do therapy, we offer mindfulness practice and meditation. So mindfulness for me is something that's really, really important. I practice meditation. I do prayer. I have my affirmations, which I do every day, and I always practice gratitude as well, and I share that with one of my mentors. And in my meditation this morning, I thought I really want to do an episode today. What should I do? And it came to me, I want to share something with you that's happened to me just recently, around just my emotions and how it's tough for me to open up sometimes, and it is tough for me to share what's going on for me, when I'm in this space. Every now and then, I get through, I just have a bit of a downer. It lasts for 24 hours. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it really hits me, and when it hits me, it doesn't just kind of hit me. Of course, it affects everybody else as well, because people who know me, and when you watch the videos and clients that work with me, they see the coach, they see the motivational speaker, the inspirational person, the guy that's always saying to you, go and get it, live your dreams, you can achieve this, you can do that. And sometimes, that's all people see. And I am a huge and very, very strong believer in honesty and vulnerability because, I don't want you to just see a mask. I hid behind a mask for so many years, for so long. And if I'm honest, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of living this mask. I'm sick of having to wear different masks, and I haven't been doing it, with the business. I always try to be very honest and very open when I speak publicly. I do the same because I want you to see me for me, not because, and I mean this in the nicest possible way. I don't care what you think. I don't care what your judgment is, or what your opinion is of me. I do it because I love myself, and if the message is that you can love yourself by being you, then so be it, and that's what this episode, and moving forward when I do these episodes, that's what I want to bring to the table. And so a couple of days ago, I just, I think it was on I can't remember the day, Tuesday. I was just woke up, felt fine. Everything was going well. Nothing to kind of report as such. But kind of throughout the day, I just started to feel a bit fatigued. I wasn't feeling too great, and just started to. I wanted to go training. Having just come back from a holiday for 2 weeks. And I did some training. My coach programmed for me whilst I was on holiday, and I trained, but then I hurt my elbow. So the last few days I didn't do huge amounts. And I was quite keen. I was really keen to just get back to CrossFit and just to be able to, to throw some weights around and just to do some stuff. And procrastination kicks in, my head then kicks in. And I have, we all have kind of the yin and yang, we have the kind of the good, the bad, and there is always a little bit in between them all. And with me, it's kind of that procrastination for me, and then this overthinking. And for me, the overthinking sometimes can take over, and it starts to create, manifest something that doesn't exist. And it did that for me that day. I started to feel fatigue. I started to feel tired. And although I had a great night's sleep, I was chilling with Ruby. I was working and had a great day at work. And I thought, right, I want to go training. I want to go and do some stuff. I had a meeting which then got cancelled. So I thought, brilliant, let's go. And all of a sudden, I just decided not to. So I literally stayed at home all day, and my body just started to kind of go in. Now I started to notice my body then starts to kind of slow down. I'll go and slouch on a couch, and then I'm on my phone. Next thing you know, I need to have a nap. And Ruby's in a chair. She's eating a little biscuit, and Lucy's on her phone. She's chilling. She had just gone into London. She had to go and do some work, and it's a new opportunity for her. She came back and she hasn't been feeling well, and to be honest, I'm feeling absolutely fine. I should have been thinking about Lucy. As it turns out, she's got shingles. She went to the doctors. She's okay. She's on medication. And, but I should have been actually thinking about her and saying, oh, baby, do you want to go and have a sleep? Are you okay? And I just go into this shutdown. I just completely shut down. I go very quiet. I don't say anything, and I go into myself. And it's nothing that she did. It's nothing that Ruby did. It's nothing that the world did. It just happens. And sometimes it's really tough, and I'm learning how to deal with it. But before, it will completely consume me. It will consume my day. It can consume my week. And it's tough because I go into myself, my head then starts to overthink. It starts to create scenarios that aren't true. It starts to create things that aren't true. Like, me getting annoyed with I'm sharing my thoughts. None of this is real. I'm sharing a thought. I kind of went into just have a little nap, and Ruby, just playing around, she just starts to make noise and she starts to kind of whinge, but she wasn't crying or anything like that. And I can hear it. I'm going, why on earth is she not picking her up? Like, what's wrong with you? And again, I would never think like that usually, but I started to just think that way and started to think negatively and thinking that she's not helping out and thinking that Lucy should be picking her up. And that's my thought process. And then I wake up and then I get annoyed the fact that I selfishly couldn't have a nap. And it is really selfish because I look at it now and think, God, I'm such an idiot. But I want to share this truth because it does happen, sometimes it does happen. And it was really tough for me because I then got annoyed with Lucy and I then get annoyed with Ruby, although neither of them are doing anything wrong. This is completely me. And because I am now so self-aware, I know that it's me. I know that it's not the world. So then I realize, okay, I need to work through this. So Lucy then realizes that something isn't quite right. She's asking me, look, what's wrong? And I start to nitpick, on something that actually has no relevance. It's got nothing to do with anything. And it actually really upsets her, And then I kind of go into myself even more. Then I go really, really quiet. She's then trying to talk to me. Our relationship is about communicating, is about talking things through. But when I'm in this space, you won't get a thing out of me. You can torture me and I will not speak to you because I just go into myself and the shame kicks in, the embarrassment kicks in. I don't know what to say. I just want to cry and just say, help me. I go into childlike mode. And and I just want to be left alone. And then I get really protective. I get very defensive. I get really, really pissed off, and I don't want anybody near me. And that's how it was for the rest of the evening. I kind of just sat on my own. Lucy went to bed because she wasn't feeling very well. Ruby went to, we put Ruby to sleep. And that was me for the rest of the evening. I was just pissed off with the world. I was pissed off with me, and I was annoyed with everything, but nothing caused it. Nothing caused that. Neither of them did anything wrong. It was completely, completely me. And I realized that. I know that. And then I'm kind of going into myself, and I'm saying, come on, like, this isn't right. This isn't really, this is not the right way to think. We know that this isn't real. Let's just chill out, relax. And then I'm just trying to what I've learned to do now is just to ride through the experience. There's nothing I can do sometimes, but I can just be patient, and I can just ride through the experience. But the worst thing for me is the thinking. It's what's going through my head that I really don't like, because it scares me. He's telling me to leave Lucy. He's telling me that I hate this life. He's telling me that I just need to, to get out of here. And none of those things are true. I love my wife more than anything in the world. She is the best thing that's ever happened to me, but I understand that none of those things are true, and that's not coming from me. These are old behaviors. These are things that have happened from before, where if something goes wrong, the first reaction for me is, let's just go. Let's just self-sabotage. Let's get out of this whole situation. So I understand today what that is. And we all have it, and I don't care who you are. And I have heard before, some of the greatest speakers in the world, some of the biggest coaches in the world, they are very open and very vulnerable, and they go through stuff. We all sometimes suffer, with depression, with anxiety, with a little bit of stress. And sometimes we don't feel the way that we're supposed to. We're human beings. We have been programmed a certain way. And when we remember those kind of behaviors, if it comes from our parents or if we were made to not feel good enough, then these things sometimes they manifest. And that's what happens to me. Every now and then this manifests. And it's a tough one, because when it manifests, it really comes out. And it just comes out in thinking. So my head is thinking every single thing possible, because it just wants me to go. But I'm like, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? Like, I love my life. So what I started to do now is I practice. And I say to myself, I don't get annoyed with myself, because it means I'm attaching to the negative thoughts. It means that I'm attaching to that negative energy. So what I try to do is just to breathe through it. I try to just relax and to stay calm. And what I should have done, which I didn't, I should have just said to Lucy, look, just give me 24 hours. I'm going through a bit of a tough time here on my own. And I just need some space, just give me a little bit of space. I should have communicated that, and I didn't. But it's a learning curve for me, because sometimes I don't even know what to say. I don't even know how to speak the words. And again, that's something which it's a learning curve. I'm getting better at it. I'm improving every day, and I improve, all the time. And I try my best. But even if I don't do it at the time, I do say to Lucy afterwards, look, I'm really sorry. And I did the next day. And even yesterday, I said, look, I'm really, really sorry. It's nothing that you did. It's nothing that anybody did. It could have been the world. And it's my responsibility. That was completely my fault. I take full responsibility for that, and I should have communicated it before, and I want to share that, because I think, with men, with women, we all go through these things. Sometimes we have, these insecurities, we have traumas, we have all of these things that all of a sudden they become our defense mechanism, where we use these as protective barriers. People trying to hurt us, or people trying to do something that we don't like, these thoughts or these behaviors come out, and we attack, or we get very defensive. And that's what happens with me, this old behavior before, it was my protective, mechanism. But what I realized, it wasn't protecting me at all. I was self-sabotaging everything. I was destroying everything around me. And I realized that this isn't a good thing. So now I understand. I have that kind of emotional intelligence around it. I have complete self-awareness around it. So I realized that sometimes for me, what I need to do is to just ride the wave. And that's what I did. I woke up the next day, I went to sleep, and every time I go to sleep, I share my day. I have like an inventory, a diary that I do, which talks about my day. I share that with my mentor, and I do a gratitude list at the end of the day. And the reason why I do is because I feel grateful when I go to bed. I feel grateful when I go to sleep, and I feel incredible. It makes me realize how beautiful my life is. And I was grateful. I'm grateful to be alive. I was grateful to be here. I was grateful to kind of go through the experience, and again, because if I go through the experience, if I allow those emotions to happen, if I allow the thinking to just do what it needs to do, but not attached to it, always realizing that, is that my thinking? Is that me? Or is just that an old behavior? And I start to understand now. I know what my thinking is, and I know what my old behavior is, because it's almost for me, who I am today and how I've always been is I've always been very positive. I've always been very optimistic. So I know that when, unless something happens where I have to be defensive, I have to be, if I do get angry for whatever reason, I start to now understand what the difference is, So when this came in, I realized, actually, I'm just going to have to ride this through. So I've learned now to just be patient, because like everything, that happens to us, it passes. These emotions, they pass. The thinking passes. So I sent over my day. I explained to my mentor what had happened, and I shared that with him, and I sent my gratitude list, and I said a prayer, and I went to bed. And I woke up the next morning, and I felt better, because I realized my head kind of started, and I thought, no, not today, we're good, because I knew, I did something positive, and when I woke up, and I thought, no, this is a new day, let's start the day fresh, we're good. But every now and then my head started again, and as soon as I started my day, I did my prayer, I did my meditation, and I did my affirmations. And as I started to then go through the day, I went into the office, I started to feel better. I started to feel myself. And that's when I started to then realize, God, man, I went through another one of these, and I need to improve my communication. I need to share this with Lucy. I need to talk to her about it. And talking for me is a real difficult thing. It's not something I was used to, because for me, anytime I've tried to kind of share my emotions with somebody, it was either shut down or it turned into an argument. And I hate arguing. I hate the screaming, the shouting. It's not me. I'm not a dramatic person. If I'm going to have an honest conversation with someone, I will be very, very honest. But I want to have the conversation like we're doing now, like as I'm speaking to you. If something's going on, I will share it in this way. I will not raise my voice, unless somebody kind of does it with me, and I have to control this down, or to make sure that I have a boundary in place. But other than that, I always try to communicate in the same way. I see things as respect. I think if we're going to have a conversation, let's do it in an adult way. And it's not about, you did this, I did that. And sometimes, we're all not kind of victims. I didn't want to use the word victims, but, it happens to us all. We all get into these arguments. Sometimes these things do happen. And it was really tough. It was tough for me to go through that, because I hate upsetting Lucy. I hate upsetting, whether it's her, whether it's the kids, or, I had a bit of a moment on holiday. Exactly the same happened, a week into the holiday. I just got really moody. Maddie was just, she's kind of going through her teenage stage, and every now and then she can be a little bit moody, and sometimes she can have a bit of an attitude, but we all do. We've all gone through it. It is what it is. And usually I deal with it really well. I'm quite calm, I'm quite patient. We've got a beautiful relationship, a lot of the time. And it's the same with Brandon, but she really caught me. And I was really, really annoyed with her. I was really angry with her, to the point where I was very, very close to really, really losing my temper. And, even Brandon and Lucy kind of stepped back from the situation, because I was having a conversation with her. And, and then afterwards, Maddie and I, after it, again, leave it 24 hours, just leave me to it. Don't speak to me, just leave me be. And then I'll kind of come around. And then Lucy said to me, look, you need to, and this is why I love my wife. Lucy's amazing. She says to me, look, if you're going to come down for dinner, you need to get over this. You know, you need to sort this out, because it's going to be really awkward. You coming down to dinner being moody, it's unfair on me, it's unfair on the kids, you know, and we don't want you to be like that, which is fair enough. So she went down for dinner. I went and had a shower. And that's when I realized, you need to get over yourself. You know, you need to sort your shit out. So I got in a shower and I just sat down in the shower. There was loads of space. It's a big, massive shower. I just sat down in the shower and I just prayed for a little bit. I just calmed my thoughts. I kind of got into a little bit of a meditation, just started to think and just cleared my thoughts. I just asked my higher power, to me is God, and I just said, God, just help me to remove these thoughts. What can I do better? How can I change the way that I'm thinking? And I just kept breathing, and I started to then realize I don't need to feel like that. I don't need to be like that. What's happened has happened, and I'm just dragging this thing on now, and I realized Dr. Joe Dispenza said in one of his talks, that we only experience our true emotions, whatever the emotion may be, I think it's for about 2 to 3 minutes. After that, we're just dragging it on, and that's the first thing that popped into my head. So as soon as I kind of did that prayer, that's what came into my head. So I laughed and I went, okay, cool, fair enough. That's kind of God just telling me, you need to get over your shit. You've had your 3 minutes and you've just dragged this on for the whole day. So I laughed at myself and thought, okay, let's just move on with this. And that's exactly what I did. I just moved on from it, and I came downstairs a little bit happier. Then, a day or so later, Maddie and I actually had a really lovely conversation. Really, really lovely conversation. I shared a few things with her, and a few things that kind of upset me, and a few things that, she wanted to share as well. And we talked through it. And sometimes, I'm not the kind of person, and I'm learning. I would love to be that person where I can talk about things right there and then. But I do struggle. With that. So I have to have that quiet time for myself. I have to just get myself into this place where I'm not doing it with my negative thinking. That's what I try to do. I don't want to have a conversation in that space, because what I don't want to do is say things that I don't mean, or just to say things to be nasty, or to say things to be mean to somebody. I don't want to do that. If I'm going to speak to somebody, I want to speak about things that are factual. I want to speak the truth. I want to be honest and vulnerable where I need to. And so I've learned, but what I need to do is communicate that better, which I don't do yet, and I need to say, look, let's just have a bit of space, give me a few minutes or a day, and then let's go through it. So, I wanted to share that with you guys. Look, like anybody, I practice these things every single day, and I've got a lifetime of learning. And I want to share this because if you struggle with this, do you struggle with communication? Do you struggle with, sharing your emotions, sharing how you're feeling? And how does it make you feel? Drop a comment, let me know, reach out to me, because I'll be really interested to see how you deal with it, to see whether I can take something away from this or whether I can help you. I'm a huge believer that, in great numbers, we can really, really help each other out. And everybody has different experiences. Everybody shares things in different ways. And I think it's so important that, that we talk about these things openly and honestly, especially amongst men. We have this, this bullshit thing, in society where men need to man up and we can't talk about our emotions, and it's a load of bollocks. And nowadays, hopefully, thankfully, I see more and more men now who are being more open, who are being more vulnerable, who are sharing their experiences and saying, you know what, I do fucking struggle. And, it's a thing and I do need help around it. And I'm very blessed to be in a position where I am, where I have been able to work with men, I've been able to work with women, and I've been able to stand in front of hundreds of people and to be able to touch people's lives and be able to help them as well. And that's such a beautiful thing to have. I've got such a beautiful gift to be able to speak and to be able to help others. But what I don't want people to believe is that my life is perfect. Not that I owe anybody anything, but just to show you that, look, we all struggle. We all go through it. But the reason I share that is because I want you to see that I have work to do as well. I have to work on myself. I have to do this stuff every day. So when I teach you something, when I share a video with you, it's not because I just think, oh, this is what's coming out of my mouth and that's it. No, it's because I have to practice this stuff. And this is why. And that's why I did this podcast today. That's why I wanted to share it with you, because I think it's so important that we come out of this bubble, that we look at, people who are successful, people that have these businesses, these motivational speakers, that they are on a different level, that they're so great and they're so wonderful and they don't struggle. It's a lie. And they even say it. I even say it. I'm one of them. I'm telling you that we struggle. We go through things. But I want to share the success. I want to share the solution behind that, so that, you can do it too. And that's the whole point, is whatever we learn, we share. And whatever I learn, I share. I'm a student of life first. I love to learn. I love to soak up experience. I love to listen to other people, and in order for me to teach, I always have to remain teachable. So I hope you took something away from this. This was a little bit random, but I wanted to try this out. And I want to continue this. I want to have some consistency in doing this every single week. And hopefully every week it's going to be different. It's not going to be, me just pissing and moaning about my vulnerability. That's a joke. But I hope you've enjoyed it. Leave your comment. Like the video if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening to this on iTunes, please, rate the audio. Leave your comments. I love it when you guys do that, because it really helps me to continue to grow, to continue to learn. If there is anything you'd like me to do differently, if there is anything you'd like me to talk about, stress, depression, anxiety, addiction, whatever it may be, it doesn't matter, whether it's exercising, whether it's nutrition, let me know. It's an open forum. That's what this is all about. We're here to help each other out and, to fulfill that little mission, helping to change the world one person at a time. If there is anything that I can do, however it is that I can serve you, let me know. Our website, as always, is www.happyasllarrygroup.com. You can follow us on Facebook at Happy as Larry Group. You can follow us on YouTube at Happy as Larry Group. You can go on iTunes if you're watching a video, which is The Feel Good Show. You just type in Happy as Larry Group, The Feel Good Show, and you can subscribe there as well. And you can have access to, because the YouTube doesn't have all of the audios. So on iTunes, you will get all the pretty much every single audio that we've done from before. So I'm going to start uploading these from now. So I hope you've enjoyed it. And listen, let me know. It's really important for me to kind of understand, how you feel about it and whether you like it. And listen, have an amazing day. Have an amazing afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. And as always, be amazing, be fantastic, be absolutely phenomenal. Live your dreams, live your life. Don't be afraid to be alive. Don't be afraid to experience. Listen, I go through it, these things as I've just shared with you, but it's okay, because it disappears, and sitting with your emotions. One of the things that I learn every single time, it's painful. Sometimes it really annoys me, but I learn from it every single time, and it helps me with my confidence. It helps me with my self-esteem, and it helps me to become a better man every single day. Hopefully a better husband, a better son, a better father, and a better friend, and a better coach, somebody that, hopefully I can help more and more people with this. So I will speak to you again very soon. And thank you as always for watching and for listening. So like, subscribe, share this, so we can grow the community, the Happy as Larry family, and we can keep helping to change the world one person at a time. And I'll see you again very soon. Take care.